Welcome to what is officially Season 2 of the Ultra Hardcore Survival. Last time we had some fun getting our bearings, but some risky plays and stupid maneuvers led me to my end. This time, I'm going to do better. In case you're tuning in to start at Season 2, the rules are simple. Natural health regeneration has been disabled, so that means I can only heal through anything that gives me healing effects, instant health potions, golden apples, the likes. Additionally, I'm not going to spend time strip mining because that's boring. I'm going to rant a lot. It's not going to be too cohesive. And I'm not the greatest at this game. Last time, we did technically find diamonds, though not underground. This time, I think we're going to go farther. The goals are simple: beat the game in as many facets as possible. Beating all the bosses, for instance. I've never fought the Warden, would love to do that. It's also still a survival world, so I'm still going to build a house and do some basic things of the sort. Gonna chop down trees because while I'm sure, you know what, let's make ourselves some tools. While I'm sure other trees now probably enable apple drops. I don't know. So I'm just going to stick with just oak trees. They're what I know drop apples for sure. Last time we were on to a pretty good start. We had lots of golden apples on us when we died. I simply got jumped and didn't respond appropriately to the situation that I had thrust myself into. So, you know, this time we'll do a little bit better. Hopefully. Can't say for certain. We're still behind where we were last time. The biggest loss was definitely the camel. I had a name tag, I had a camel, but I didn't have enough iron to name him yet. So I'm going to need a new camel because that dude was cool. Very much enjoyed it. I died to a treasure bastion. A lot of gold to be had, more gold than apples at that point. I was trying to clear my way. I boxed off one of those enforcers or whatever they're called with the golden axes, and you know, one of his goons behind me, who I didn't know was there, decided that he's not going to stand for his boss getting taken down, and I was cut down swiftly and surely. That's on me. This time, things are going to go different because I am now more prepared, more experienced. I will succeed where others have failed before me. And the simple goal right now is get a couple apples so I can make golden apples. And I'm going to stick to the surface for a little bit because generated structures tend to be very kind to me. The ruined portals provide gold and golden apples, which, I mean, very nice. Last time we didn't spend much time on the water, but I'm pretty sure with this clear water we'll be able to see structures pretty easily. Though passing by an Elder Guardian structure would be, the sea temple would be not as nice, to be certain. But we do appear to have spawned on an island, you know, it's quaint. We're not going to have the natural beauty of the land before us, nor the ability to re-see the Temple of Anubis, but, you know, we'll make do. I made mistakes, and I'll pay for them. While these leaves decay, I'm not getting any apples. I believe it's about a 1 in 200 chance, 0.5%. That looks like a structure. Maybe that is loot. The advantages to UHC, food you don't really consume too swiftly. Hopefully this doesn't spawn drowned. Hopefully this structure spawns loot as well, because it doesn't look like it does. No loot. Oh well. It would have been cool to loot the treasure bastion, would have been rich, but I got greedy. And you know, we're going to make up for that. This time we go all the way, for sure. Not going to do the demonstration taking a heart of damage. If you want to see how it all works, you can check previous episodes. No apples. That's unfortunate. Oh, there's an apple. Just one is enough for right now, but I'll let these leaves decay. I'll continue looking out from the water. Using clear bright still. Same rules apply for previous rule set. Clear bright. Clear water, full bright. It's just more visibility, which is nice. Right under that looks like a shipwreck, probably. It's a big mound of dirt that my brain says looks like a ship. But if it looks like a ship, and it feels like a ship, and it smells like a ship, it's probably a ship. I'm gonna kill that chicken as well, right off the bat. Assuming I can kill this cow. Because feathers are important. I probably should have used my bow a little bit more last time to be safe, but I was trying to conserve my ammunition. No feathers, huh? Well. This time, our mistakes will not be as plentiful. We will do very well to mitigate circumstances where we need to be in such reckless positions. We weren't doing too bad last time. It was truly just one mistake, and that's really what it is a lot of the time. In PvP UHC, you get into situations where your enemies are trying to kill you. So, chip damage over time just leads to a favorable fight for somebody else. While the reality of a UHC survival is quite often you're going to be able to come back from a lot of that chip damage. I mean, earlier it's more difficult, but once you get to a certain point, you just become capable of surviving. Because you get golden apples, a steady enough stream to where you can heal up, your armor gets better, so the chip damage you take is decreased. But then it becomes single threats, falling into a lava pool, falling from a great height without a water bucket. Dangerous mobs like the Wither or the Ender Dragon can kill you very quickly. And if you're going to die in one hit, it doesn't matter how much healing you have, because you need to have at least half a heart to administer healing. Wonder how many sheep there are on this island. If it's just the one, he's not worth killing. It looks like it's just the one. I'm not going to be able to do much with that. Cook up some steak right now, just so we have early enough food supply. One coal does 8 pieces of food. I'm going to hope to encounter no drowned. I think I saw a dolphin earlier. I probably should have tried to swim just wherever that was instead of just diving in randomly. Though I don't see it anymore anyway, so... Towards the shipwreck I swim. Clearwater only seems to work from above, so... I'll still need to gather my bearings when I go to places like this, but I feel that I will do fine. Looks like a structure over there as well. Structures are great. Loot for very little cost. Unless I could drown with the trident spawns right now, which we might be going on to Season 3. But that won't happen. I'm sure we're fine. Oh, some more land over there. Quite nice. We'll have to go back to collect my things, but... I'm gonna suffocate. Well, drown. Suffocation by water intake into the lungs. A lot of iron and some emeralds. I mean, hey, that's a really good amount of starting iron. What's down here? Some carrots, some suspicious stew. Blast protection. That could actually, even though it's just blast protection 1, that could actually come in handy. Some carrots, not too valuable on their own. Carrots do have their uses. And this door. I got these last time. Have no clue what they do. Some feathers are nice. Some books, I suppose. No, I'm not going to need them right now. Buried treasure. And that's what I was afraid of. It is becoming nighttime and I have no bed. And I don't want to just dig into a hole for 10 minutes. I could just pause the video, sit in a hole for 10 minutes, but that doesn't seem very fun and engaging. So we're going to grab our stakes. We're going to hope to outswim the threats of the world around me. This isn't the right direction. It sort of is. Is that literally my spawn? Had like a treasure chest right on it? That's hilarious. Actually, you know what? We might be able to get a bed if that sheep is kind to us. 1 wool. You are not very kind to us. I wonder if we can get apples from shearing. For science. I also have blocks to defend myself with. Science point to no so far. Aha! 2 wool? Huzzah! You're a lifesaver, sheep. Not a moment too soon. Sweet dreams indeed. Able to escape the threats of the island very early. Gonna make ourselves an iron pickaxe, first thing we do, and we're gonna follow that up with a shield. Because that will prove more valuable than any armor I can craft. Speaking of armor I can craft, we're then going to craft armor. And then I want a shovel, because we'll be mining for that sunken treasure very soon. Thank you for your effort, shears, but you are no longer necessary. Didn't craft a chest plate because we do have a blast protection leather chest plate. It is terrible. I'm not trying to claim otherwise, but having a leather chest plate with blast protection is better than having no pants, for instance. Zombie, you can feel the heat of daytime. Skeleton burned over here. Quite literally at our spawn. Sunken treasure, or buried treasure. This time it doesn't appear to be in the water. Whenever I've seen a speedrunner do this kind of stuff, they always just they just find the block beforehand. Which, I mean, I wish I could do. It would make this a lot faster. But I don't know what tricks they're doing. I'd say I went too far, though. It looks like it's just about here, so we'll dig these blocks out. I think it has to be under a diggable block as well. So it can be under, like, gravel and dirt. But I think it can't be under, like, the sandstone. Aha! More emeralds, more iron. What's that? Potion of water breathing. That could save our life. The cooked fish, not really going to be important early. We're not going to consume so much food as for that to be warranted. Though with this iron, I mean, at this point it'll be more worth it to have a chest plate than anything else. Make ourselves a sword. I know axes are powerful and I should probably build one of those, but stone axe will have to do. There was another structure, not sure how valuable. whatever it was because I'm not exactly sure what it was. It didn't look impressive. It looked like probably just some underwater ambient structure had happened to generate above water, which I mean is neat, but it's not too important. Those dolphins, I think, make you faster than a boat, which is fun. So if I can find those dolphins again, though I can't, so we'll just make a couple boats. I mean, right now we're doing fine. Oh, there's the dolphin. We'll just use the boat, stay above the water. Leave nothing to chance. No drowned hiding with a trident. But I believe those things are accurate enough to snipe out my boat and kill me in the water anyways. Perhaps I should spend some time in the water. Because... Oh, there is a drowned here. This... None are wielding tridents from what I can see, but still. There is a chest, though, so we're going to do something stupid. There's a buried treasure map. That makes it not stupid unless it's to a location I've already been before. Which I believe it is, because that is the... to the south... yeah. It's quite literally the map I already had. I think. Well, I threw it out. Now it's too late. If I was wrong, hilarious. Ooh, this is massive. Would you look at all that? Go straight down to the depths. That water breathing potion will enable us to go into places like that if we wanted to. But now I'll save it as an op if I get stuck in an underwater area. That's lapis. They changed out war spawns so significantly. I say the word war spawn and I'm reminded back to like Crazy Craft, as the main mod in Crazy Craft back in the day was war spawn. War spawn is a pretty robust mod. I didn't like how it scaled. I like how unique it was. It added a lot of content to the game. But it didn't scale very well. I don't like anything where the only way to achieve the next level in an open world game like this is to complete the previous thing. So in order to beat like the highest level mob in Crazy Craft, you had to use armor from the previous creature, or else you just get insta killed. And if you want to use the top tier armor, you did get insta killed. And if you were using top tier armor, you took no damage. You became immortal. And that never seemed fun to me, because I like when a mod pack gives you options. And in terms of a boss fight, that's actually a pretty boring boss fight. Because the ideal boss fight is one where... I grabbed an iPad, there we are. The ideal boss fight is one where it may be difficult at first, but once you learn its mechanics, it becomes a lot easier. And, you know, the Souls-like games use those mechanics as sort of its core, but I don't necessarily mean that it has to be like a Souls-like where it's like, oh, you can't beat it until you learn its patterns. I mean, like, if you're over-geared for a boss in a game like this, you're over-geared. You get to kill it for free. That's what you get. You've earned it. But if a boss is literally just charging at you and it insta-kills you, unless you're wearing the correct gear, which has to be the top-tier gear, you die, it's just not fun. Like, I was playing, I've played a few mod packs of the modern era, like all the mods, for instance. And that's actually one of my biggest bones to pick with the all the mods mod pack, is that they, well, actually, I have 2 bones to pick with that one. First major note is that in order to do like ice and fire mobs, those dragons will just kill you instantly. The ghosts kill you. All of the ice and fire mobs will just kill you instantly. So they lock it behind their own dimension. And that's my second biggest problem with all the mods is that they are it is a collection of mods, a mod pack. And then they had the audacity to collect all these mods together and then unify them with their own mod. Hey, there's a sea temple. We'll take those cords. Or we'll just take a screenshot without the cords, I guess. But they had the audacity to make their mod the most important. And if you've never played it, what I mean by that is that the strongest of all of the strongest of all of the ores is from their mod pack. In order to get the first major piece of progression that mod pack, you need to get all the modium. Quite literally, the creators of all the mods decided to make a block called all the modium. And that is the first major ore, and you need it to survive certain things. And then you need to get the next one, vibranium, and then unobtainium. And in order to get to the mining dimension, you need to use all the modium. Curse of Vanishing, it doesn't actually do anything. Gold armor. Frostwalker 1 gold, I guess. No gold block, it appears. Unfortunate. But as I was saying, you have to get their ores in order to progress, which I find stupid. They made the armor made of all the modium, then vibranium, then unobtainium, giga cracked, super hard to, or like super high tier armor, far surpassing anything. The numbers are massive. It far surpasses anything else you can get in the mod pack. Now I know a common thing for mod packs to make them more difficult is put like the angel ring and other forms of flight behind some sort of wall of hard to obtain items. Like, oh, you need to use some botania, you need to do some of this mod, some of that mod. And, oh, applied energistics, we don't want you getting the ME system too fast, so we're going to put that behind a wall too. And, you know, that's fine. The mod is supposed to take a certain amount of time to complete, so you limit certain parts of the progression behind walls of, if you want to, like MC Eternal, I think does it much better. If you want to access the end game stuff, or if you want even just easier, if you want the ME system, you have to go into other dimensions. Why? Because the ME system is cracked. So you can't just deep delve into applied energistics immediately. Now, I think there are problems with that mindset, but this isn't it removes your ability to freely choose what mod you want to pursue. Because I know oftentimes a lot of people will quickly go for certain mods that enable huge amounts of storage. I know I do the same thing. I found other ways of getting it besides applied logistics, but I do the same thing. Because you don't want to have to organize your chests. You want to be able to just throw everything in, use a search bar. Because there's so many items in mod packs. Because every mod pack has its own items that enable it. Which, I mean, I'm all for. I love having all this new stuff, these new ores, and then some of them overlap. Oh, sapphires from this mod and this mod both work for crafting this recipe. I love when that happens. Because it just makes it so it's like, you know, hey, sapphires are sapphires. That's what they do. They do the job of a sapphire. That was a nice little place to slip. And so when MC Eternal says, hey, if you want to do applied energistics, all of like those cores and those meteors with the cores, they're on another dimension. I don't remember which one. And I'm like, you know what? Fair enough. You want to do that? Go ahead. And I was having fun with that mod pack. And the reason I stopped is because mostly because it was completely unplayable. I would have enough memory and frames to play the and CPU usage to play the game for a while, and after half an hour to an hour, the CPU usage would just keep climbing steadily until everything started lagging to the point where I needed to restart the game in order to actually enjoy myself. Because playing the game at 30 frames in every 30 seconds going down to 2, not enjoyable. And the second main problem I had, well, they didn't do the thing like all the mods did, which was hide the ice and fire mobs behind their own um, like wall and dimension, and they didn't change their stats to be giga cracked. The dragons were far too common, and I want to make it clear to you just how common they were. So there were a few villages I had explored because you're seeing the way I'm playing. I'm just running around on the surface. There was a few villages on the surface. And I was just going from village to village, and then while at one village I start to lag immensely and I hear the flapping of wings. So I take cover, and sure enough, a dragon is just unleashed right under this village. And I went, "Aw, shit, this is cool." And then I went to a different village on a different side from my base, and there was another dragon came out from there, and I was like, "That is a second dragon. That's kind of funny." And then I was mining underneath my own base, and I found an underground dragon lair. And I went, I am not rebuilding my base somewhere else. And then I just went to creative, killed the dragon, and then just lived where I lived. I threw out all the dragon's loot. And I was like, all right, that's how I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna count killing that dragon because I mean I did in creative. And then I decided to go into Twilight's Forest. And in Twilight's Forest, oh, the dragon because of the way the Twilight's Forest generates, um, there were dragons there, dragons there, dragons there. Every time I tried to go to a structure, there was just a dragon. Oh, I see a giant hill for mining. Oh, but there's a dragon next to it. Oh, I see a lich tower. Oh, the lich tower actually got rammed by a dragon that I had to kill. At that point, I had more items. I had some tinker's weaponry, but I literally was just dying, shooting the dragon from a distance with my crossbow, getting burnt to a crisp with its long-range breath attack because it insta-killed me. Getting an enchanted key, teleporting back. If I didn't get an enchanted key from the Corel's Tombstone mod, I just would walk back. And this process would rinse and repeat until the dragon was dead so I could play the Twilight's Forest mod. Because what I wanted to do, I fought the Naga. The Naga was a tough fight because they made it so that boss mobs come with some sort of extra effect to them. So I was having an actual tough time with the Naga. I had to continuously heal. It had something that caused it to like shoot off these little fireballs, which like these fiery shulker shots, which was pretty cool. And so I had to continuously get into the water because the fire was burning me. He did a bit of damage. I had a little bit of like a thorns effect. So he would take damage when he hit me. And then I would shoot at him with my crossbow, but he was fast. And then I would hit him with my sword because it did more damage, but then he would hit me because we're melee running. And it was a good boss fight. And he, would go around. I'd be dodging attacks because he had an attack pattern that is learnable. He does like a little dance and then dashes at you. And that was neat. And then I wanted to fight the Lich, which is the next. I believe that is an Illager outpost. That's Those guys come with like crossbows and stuff. We do not want to fight ranged enemies when we can avoid it. So this is a rune portal. 2 golden apples. Nice. Any gold? No gold, but 2 golden apples. I mean, that'll sustain me for a good amount of time. I ignore the Illager outpost. But it became aggressively annoying because I wanted to do the Twilight's Forest. I did not want to play Let's Kill Dragon Simulator. Now, other things that I had done was I had ended up finding like other ice and fire locations. I marked them on the map because they're cool mobs, and I want to go back and I want to fight the Hydra. And oh, that's a Medusa lair. I can tell because I've played this mod pack. Or I've played mod packs with ice and fire before. And then at one point I had gone really far away, and I was just exploring. And then suddenly I'm getting shot down by Stygian birds. and they insta-killed me. But I could hear them firing at me, so the first few times I'm able to dodge them. And then they insta-kill me. And I was like, alright, well, I ran back, got my loot. I got Stygian bird feathers. I'm not sure whether they're like arrows where they were sticking in the ground, or whether one of them had like bounced off my corpse, or whether one of the birds ended up shooting another one of the birds and killing it. I don't know. The mobs were very powerful, and I understand there's meant to be later game enemies. I mean, dragons are not meant to be the first thing you fight. But if an enemy is supposed to be more powerful and only fought later, it should be rarer. It should come with its own structure that it is bound within. And to be fair, some of the ice and fire mobs are bound like that. But then I'm stuck with, oh right, dragons do only come in dragons' nests. But the dragons' nests are everywhere. And if there are dragons' nests everywhere, they're not uncommon. Silk Touch Golden Shovel, that's not going to do anything. Though there is a flint. I should remember my rule. Flint. Almost just made a flint and steel. That's not what I wanted to do. This crafting is going terribly. There's some arrows. There's flint and steel in here. There's a fire charge. How many do you need? You need 3 obsidian. I could make a bucket. Redemption for last time. No bow entering the nether. That seems like a terrible idea. Let's do it. We need a bucket, which means we need to place my furnace. Start cooking some iron. But it's just a really... It's disheartening, really. Because when you play a mod pack, there's just certain things you want to do. Like, I am a fan of magic mods. I added to MC Eternal Mahosukai, which I believe is how it's pronounced, which is a mod that adds, like, magic spells, which mostly fate related, but there's some stuff from other animes. And it's a really fun mod, and I really enjoy it. It has a very basic progression system, and it can get very, very cracked, but it's fun. And you put effort into it, and you spend time on it, and it gets better. You build mana by spending mana. And you can store mana in these crystals, and blah, blah, yada, yada. And that is how you play Mahosukai. You do exactly that. And so it becomes annoying, for lack of a better word, when in order to play the mods you want to play, you are required to go to another dimension. If I want to play the Twilight's Forest, I gotta kill dragons first. Is the Lich as powerful as a dragon? Nope. But if I want to fight that Lich at the top of the tower, I gotta kill the dragon that has destroyed the entire first floor of the tower. Because it spawned right over there. And it aggroed me. Why did it aggro me? Because I was in the area, of course. But it's just obnoxious when spawn rates aren't turned. And so if I wanted to play that mod pack, I would have to figure out a way to turn down the spawn rates of dragon. But I feel like that's something that should have been addressed when the mod pack was created, because I'm not too keen on how one does all that. Also, there might just not be any lava here, which would be very unfortunate, because that means I have to go find lava elsewhere if I want to use this. But, and then in, like, something like, hey, what if I was a player who likes applied energistics, who likes the machines from applied energistics, not just the ME system? Well, I'm sorry, you can't play the mod you want to play because it's a good mod, so we've set it behind some barriers. Another thing I crafted in MC Eternal was I spent 4 netherite ingots on wings. And wings were so that I could have flight, and they were a fun type of flight where I like soared around and stuff. And so you'd think that because I had flight, it would be very powerful. But the flight provided by literal wings that require netherite to craft. Here's a lava pool. We're going to need a little bit of this. Yeah, to get to the point where I had literal netherite in the crafting recipe, I needed to just, say, hey. Or no, that's not the point I was making. I used netherite. I used 4 netherite ingots. Netherite is not the easiest thing to obtain. And I used it in order to obtain flint, which I think is a fair trade-off. That's why I did it. So if I'm trading off netherite for I'm trading off netherite for the ability to fly. You expect it to be pretty good flight. I'm sure some of you understood that's where I was getting to once I got my thoughts in order. But no, it wasn't too good. The flight itself was good. It came with a cost of you actually, suffered a lot of hunger. You consumed hunger very fast for flying, and I went, fair enough. I'm going to eat a lot of food while doing this. And then the game's like, oh, right. Also, you consume 1 durability for every block you fly. And I went, all right. How much durability do I have? 1,000. So you're telling me for 4 netherite ingots, I can fly 1,000 blocks at the cost of severe hunger as well. I went into the config, I just increased the durability because I wasn't about to be bothered with that. Because it's ridiculous. There's a certain level where in a modded Minecraft, I want to be a little more powerful. And the game just says, nah. Anyways, next time we're going to get into the nether and stop complaining about modded Minecraft. See you then.